Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mace, coming to you from Western Canada, beautiful British Columbia, where we are soon to become annexed. I'm just kidding, of course, but we really are living in a South Park script, is what it seems like most days. Most of the headlines that you look at, pretty much since 2016, pretty much since Trump took office, it's just been crazy, ridiculous. So Trump asked point blank, are you considering using military force to annex Canada? Like, how insane is that? How crazy is that to even, as a joke, which Trump is oft to do, he kind of uses this excuse as, well, I'm just using the art of the deal. I'm using my negotiating skills, which, mind you, are the best negotiating skills that anyone's ever had in the history of the world. And, we're going to do good. We're going to do great things up there. And things are going to be looking up, and we're going to be the greatest that the world's ever seen. Bigly, very, very good. Very good. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Let's get to the video. He's holding a press conference here at Mar-a-Lago, where he spends a considerable amount of time on the American dollar. Secret Service protecting him while he plays golf and makes outlandish statements. All right.
Mr. President, if we were to work under the assumption that you're serious about making Canada the 51st state of the United States, the leader of the Conservative Party in Canada said, under no circumstance will it ever be the 51st state.
Maybe he won't win, but maybe he will. I don't.
You had suggested.
Listen, I don't.
So they're referring to Pierre Poilievre, who said that, and of course Trudeau made a good statement after Canada won the Four Nations face-off against the USA the other day, when he said, you can't have our game and you can't have our country.
I don't care what he says. But, Sir, real fast, you said you were considering military force to acquire Panama and Greenland. Are you also considering military force to annex and acquire Canada?
No, economic force, because Canada and the United States, that would really be something. You get rid of that artificially drawn line, and you take a look at what that looks like, and it would also be much better for national security. Don't forget, we basically protect Canada. But here's the problem with Canada. So many friends up there.
The thing is, this is the geopolitical situation that's been set up, like in the Middle East and Ukraine, and just the USA as a kind of, their military budget. This has been decades of this. So when he starts to say things like, they're abandoning Ukraine to Russia, or they're not going to be supporting Taiwan, they're going to be using economic force to acquire Canada. It's crazy.
I love the Canadian people. They're great. But we're spending hundreds of billions a year to protect it. We're spending hundreds of billions a year to take care of Canada. We lose in trade deficits. We're losing massive. We don't need their cars. They make 20% of our cars. We don't need that. I'd rather make them in Detroit. We don't need the cars. We don't need their lumber. We have massive fields of lumber. We don't need their lumber. We have to unrestrict them because stupid people put, restrictions on, but I can do that with an executive order. We don't need anything they have. We don't need their dairy products. We have more than they have. We don't need anything. So why are we losing $200 billion a year and more to protect Canada? And I said that to, as I called him, Governor Trudeau. I said, listen, what would happen if we didn't subsidize you, if we didn't, because we give them a lot.
So his mocking name of Trudeau, Governor Trudeau, which is a Trumpism, right? He does that to all of his political peers and rivals.
A lot of money. We help them. As an example, we're buying icebreakers, and Canada wants to join us in the buying of icebreakers. I said, we don't really want to have a partner in the buying of icebreakers. We don't need a partner. But no right. Nope. No right. Here's what we have. We have a right not to help them with their financial difficulties because we owe $36 trillion too. We're going to start knocking it out pretty fast, but we're going to be able to do it.
36 trillion?
Because of energy and other things. But no right. No right. But why are we supporting a country, $200 billion plus a year? Our military is at their disposal. All of these other things, they should be a state. That's why I told Trudeau when he came down, I said, what would happen if we didn't do it? He said Canada would dissolve. Canada wouldn't be able to function if we didn't take their 20% of our car market. You know, they send us hundreds of thousands of cars. They make a lot of money with that. They send us a lot of other things that we don't need. We don't need their cars, and we don't need the other products. We don't need their milk. We got a lot of milk. We got a lot of everything. And we don't need any of it. So I said to him, well, why are we doing it? He said, I don't really know. He was unable to answer the question.
So I do think the entire situation, you know, Trump floating these statements out there about annexing Canada and Canada being the 51st state, and Prime Minister Trudeau being the governor, it's just like Trumpist kind of, it's what he uses anyways. In most of his negotiating tactics, he just floats out outlandish things to kind of gauge his opponent. And but the thing is, his statements have real world effects. Like, there's people now boycotting American products. He's alienated the the U.S. government. Surprisingly enough, even more than they'd been alienated before. And I mean, he's alienating people around the world, impressively. Like, as if people didn't already have an ill view of the States. He's really doing a bang-up job.
I can answer it. We're doing it because of habit, and we're doing it because we like our neighbors, and we've been good neighbors. But we can't do it forever, and it's a tremendous amount of money. And why should we have a $200 billion deficit and add on to that many, many other things that we give them in terms of subsidy? And I said, that's okay to have if you're a state. But if you're another country, we don't want to have it. We're not going to have it with European Union either. European Union, we have a trade deficit of $350 billion. They don't take our cars. They don't take our farm product. They don't take anything. And so we're not going to have it with them either.
All right, that's that. American exceptionalism and the populism of Trumpist policies kind of rearing their head. And it's kind of crazy. Yeah. He speaks flippantly about, annexing countries and countries becoming states. Just like a certain country, like, say, Austria or something, was talked about the same way by another certain leader. Oh, boy. All right. See you all in the next one.